Okay. Looks like I'm live. Well, good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, and my internet seems to be a lot better than it was yesterday morning. Although I see a little bit of a delay, but we'll go with it this time. It's not quite as obnoxious. So today is Tuesday, and we get to talk about the 3-point power profile. I've got some new slides that I made to show you numerous examples of some really good profiles. Before I had that, we were just showing you kind of mine and Ronan's, but I've got a bunch of others to show you today. So I'm going to get into the content after I introduce my co-host, Ronan Rahman. There he is. Hello, Ronan.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, great.
Cup of Joe. Me too.
I got my troop cup.
That's nice. I'm got this lowly In-N-Out mug.
Yeah, custom made right here.
You know, is once I attach myself to a mug, it's hard for me to let it go.
Well, see, I make my own. That way I get attached. And then on the back side of it, I've got my my Scoutmaster patch with my name.
I used to have an Area 51 mug and got broke. And that was a sad, sad day when I had to give that up.
Well, see, if this one breaks, I can just make another one. So
yeah. All right. Well, Nanette's with us, so she gets that we are live. We're live. Yes. We're looking for your comments down below, and just let us know that you're there. Let us know if you have any questions, comments. We're going to be covering something today that is akin to wearing a nice, well-fitting suit when you go networking. That's the way I think about it. So I'm gonna scoot out of here and leave you to it.
All right, thanks, Ronan. Okay, so yesterday we talked about your market to message match, and talked also about how that incorporates into one of the 3-point power profile concepts that I'm going to talk about today. Today we're going to go over the other two for your profile. And like Ronan said, getting this updated, getting these things set, it's kind of like putting on a good suit or the right pair of clothes for the networking event or the occasion that you are going to. And the occasion here on LinkedIn is to meet other business professionals that you may want to engage with, either with business, conversation, etc. So that is what we're here to talk about. We want to make sure that you get this right. So I'm going to have Ronan pull up my screen. If you would mind, thank you, sir. And let's go over these items on the LinkedIn profile. So let's start with Dana Earhart. Okay, so the 3 parts of the profile that you really want to get set straight, if nothing else. Now, there's others, but these are the 3 most important. That's why we call it the 3-point power profile training, are the following. Number 1 is your photograph. That is the image in the circle of you, your face, basically. Number 2 is your cover image, which is the large rectangular image on the top of your LinkedIn profile. And number 3, of course, is your headline, which is the words on LinkedIn below your name. Okay, so let's talk about the profile photo first. The easiest way to get this right is to have a professional photographer create your social media profile photograph. By far, that's the best way. And you can see here in pretty much all the examples I'm going to show you, that's how it was done. So this is Dana's professional photograph, and she actually presented us with a fair amount of different photographs, different outfits, different smiles, different facial expressions. And this is the one that we chose. Many of them were all of them were great, and many of them would have worked really well for social media. But the reason we chose this one is it met all of our criteria, which is number 1, a plain, simple, non-distracting background, so that you don't want anything distracting in the background. We see a lot of photographs that have like bookcases in the background or landscape features or other people. You don't want any of that in your background. You want it to be plain, like this, or something similar. It doesn't have to be this color, but just something very plain. Number 2, you want it to be very close up of your face. And the reason for that is twofold. One it's a way that we can see you, right? I mean, and you want to have your face be approachable, the expression that you have, whether that's, you know, a smile with teeth or not teeth, you know, something that makes you look like, you know, I might want to have a conversation with you. And the other thing to keep in mind is sometimes this profile photograph, this profile image shows up in areas on social media that are very, very tiny. And so if it's not a close-up, well-lit image of your face, it's going to be difficult to see in a lot of cases. On this big slide, it's very easy to see, but that's not how it always appears. So, and especially if someone's on a mobile device. So that's another thing to consider is more often than not, people are visiting your LinkedIn profile from a mobile device. It's probably close to, if not more than 70% of the time. So just keep that in mind when you're creating your profile content. All right, let's talk about the cover image. That's that big rectangular image on the top. We like to add a little personality to it, something that expresses something about you that's also going to, you know, be relatable and maybe connect you with your audience. So in this particular case, Dana has, I believe, an 8-year-old. He might be a 10-year-old son. I'm not sure, but he's between 8 and 10 years old. And that's really important to her. And doing fun things with her son is a very, very important thing to her. So we found this image that reflects that very, very effectively and put it out there as the kind of main background image. And then she has kind of a tagline, real, relatable results. And that works very well as to put that onto the profile cover image. Do not put a ton of words here. This is not a good place for you to write an essay. We've seen profile covers that have way too much wording. People, A, won't read it, and B, it's really not readable. So these nice, large, you know, words, 3 words, 5 words, 1 sentence, that works very, very well. And then, of course, feel free to throw in your logo. That's perfectly acceptable. Just do not disturb on my phone here. Perfectly acceptable. Put your logo on that, especially if you have one. So, and then the third and final part I'm going to mention, you obviously, if you were on the training yesterday, know this already, is your headline, and that's below your name. And LinkedIn will default your headline to your job title and your company name. And you want to override that. You want to write an actual headline using preferably the market to message match formula that we introduced yesterday. And go back and you can see that it's still live on my Facebook page or wherever you're watching this video right now. Go ahead and review that and invest some time and craft a really powerful headline that connects well with your audience and especially the campaign that you're currently running. So that's the long overview, if you will, discussion of what makes up a really good LinkedIn profile, at least these 3 most important parts. There's other parts. I get it, but today we want to just make sure you get these 3 set right. So let's go to another profile, which is Sergio Chavez. Again, you can see he's got a professionally made photograph, non-distracting background. Using that kind of like blur effect is fine as long as it's non-discernible and non-distracting. It's a nice close-up shot of his face, well lit. He looks very approachable, very, very much Sergio. Okay, if you were to know him, and then he chose to use on his cover image, which I love, is you can see it's kind of him in the foreground, but looking over his shoulder while he's in a client meeting going over. In this particular case, he's going over some advertising results. That's what he does. And so this really connects you to what he does and what his, you know, typical work life might look like. And I like that kind of behind the scenes view, if you will, where you can't really see what's going on because it's kind of blurred out on the screen, but you know that something interesting here is happening and that connects well with his audience. So no words are necessary on this cover image. One other thing I want to point out when you're deciding your cover image is keep in mind on certain, and I'll probably add a slide that shows this. On certain devices, your photograph is not going to be on the far left as it's shown here. It's actually going to be in the center, positioned kind of in the bottom center. And so make sure you don't have anything in the bottom center of your cover image that would be blocked that is important with your cover image. So in this case, what happens is when someone pulls up Sergio's profile on a mobile device, his cover photo, his face is just covering a little bit of his arm and a little bit of the laptop computer, but it doesn't detract from the essence of what we're trying to get across here. So just to keep that in mind as well. Then of course he's got a really great headline below his name. Let's show you Ronan's example. So Ronan, another professional photograph. He's dressed the part to meet with IT decision makers, which is his market. Very approachable look about him. Great photograph. It meets all the requirements that we talked about. For his cover image, he's got more of a sophisticated approach, right? So he's got someone writing some notes using a fountain pen, something we don't often see these days, but kind of cool. And then the company logo. Great, works well. No need to put any additional words here. And then, of course, our really well-written headline using the market to message match formula, which I'm not going to go over again. We did that yesterday. And let's see. Let's find one more we'll show you here. This is Shannon Graham. Again, you can tell that his photograph was made by a pro. Now, he's got a very specific brand identity. And so his photograph is intentionally lit the way it is, with kind of dark on the left side of his face and lit on the other side of his face. It's sort of this mysterious kind of look. And you can see that's also reflected on his image above in his cover image. And so that works very well for his brand and for what he stands for, what you're going to get when you meet him. So when I say well lit, you want to make sure you can see yourself. But look, in this case, he's using lighting in a very strategic way. So don't be afraid to do that if that makes sense for you. And again, he's got his logo here and a few words: transformational coaching for visionary leaders. It works, and very, very simple, clean, very, very much in line with Shannon's brand. And of course, another well-written headline given the market to message match formula. I'll read his just in case you can't see it. I read the others, I think, yesterday. So his headline reads, "Corner man for CEOs. I protect your investments by getting peak performance from your founders." And he is reaching out to venture capitalists. So it really resonates with his market that he is attracting. So those are some examples of how you can use the 3-point power profile concept to really dress things up for you. We do a deeper dive training where we go into other components of your profile, such as your work experience and your about section and other things like that, which are all helpful, and especially for appearing in LinkedIn search results and things like that. So don't think that we don't do that. We do. I just wanted to make sure that at a minimum you get this right, because when someone checks out your profile, this is the first stuff that they see, and this is what's going to, kind of seal the deal or not right away. First impressions count here. So I'm going to come back to full screen. There I am. Ta-da! Thank you, Ronan, for doing that. And that's pretty much what I wanted to cover today. So I'm going to have Ronan come back on and lend his kind of summary comments here, as he always does so well.
Thank you. Like I said in the beginning, this is you in a suit. This is you in an outfit. When you go networking, which is what LinkedIn is facilitating now, because we don't do as many live events as we used to. This is you putting your best foot forward, as they say. And it is the first impression. The first thing they see is probably the banner photo and your image. And then from there, they'll go, oh, okay, let me read the headline. And they read the headline and they go, yeah, okay, I want to connect to this person.
Well, and also keep in mind that before they even get to your profile, if they even go there, when you make a connection request with someone, or you post anything on LinkedIn or comment on anything on LinkedIn, really the first thing they're going to see is your headline. Oftentimes. So that's why we invest in an entire training just on that, because if I would argue, if anything, that's maybe the most important part. Yes. But if it's out of sync and if it's not in integrity, if you will, with the rest of your profile, then it's going to fall on its face when someone actually visits it. So that's why we do this training in stages like this. But yeah, very good point, Ronan. That
it's super simple to do. We invest a little bit of time. We use software to manipulate just edit the photos and clean them up, and there's software out there that will size it to LinkedIn specific dimensions.
Yep.
You know, so it's just very easy these days to get that done. So I say invest the time to do it, show a little bit of personality like we've done with these profiles, and make them clean and neat, and have you be the person that people want to connect to.
Absolutely.
So,
and if you want us to check out your LinkedIn profile, post it in the comments below, and we'll check it out, maybe give you some feedback on that.
So tomorrow we're going to talk about messaging, eh?
That's right. Now that you're all dressed up for going out there to meet people, let's figure out what to say and how to say it.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see you all tomorrow.
Sounds great.